I'm going to take inspiration from one of these for a portrait of Graham.
A Franz house?
I don't know, we can
maybe.
give it some props or something.
Hello everyone,
So
just wait a minute. Hello, welcome back. And nice to see everybody again. And I hope you're all doing well. Today it's a portrait. I have the delectable Graham with me, who will be sitting and putting up with everything. And an interesting conversation with other guests in the studio this evening. So please do fire away any questions or thoughts, or just let me know you're here and say hello. And I'm going to get stuck in, and I'll chat a bit about what I'm doing as I go along. But I have already done a little sketch. I did a little preparatory sketch, which I don't always do, and that's her. Is that coming out?
Yeah, slightly out of focus.
Slightly out of focus. Let's focus on that. If I could find the button, there it is.
I like the position of the hands on that.
Yeah, so he's got interesting hands, Graham. So he's going to have his hands like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I'll see if I can do something about the composition as well as I go along. But yeah, we'll see what comes out as a result. Do some more focusing. I've got two light sources, and yeah, I've got to put some paint out. I cleaned my palette. No, I thought I was doing so well, but still want to do. You know what? I'm going to put some rubber gloves on before I do that, because all my tubes leak.
That's the one for you, because that's where I'm going to be looking.
Yeah, of course. That's it. I'm just going to put this slightly less. Well,
There we go.
I'm not a proper interviewer, you know, I just
Okay.
just sitting in and watching what James is doing while he paints it. He's got a very, what is it, like 16th century look, like 17th century look, isn't it, with the long hair, a bit like the Musketeer, kind of like.
Okay, like a cavalier, but not as curly.
Yeah, like Scaramouche or something like
Yeah.
that.
If ever you get a Kevin Keegan poem, we know what you're going to look like.
Right.
You look like D'Artagnan from what was his name?
Who?
The Three Musketeers. Who wrote that?
Dumas.
Yes. He did
Dumas Père.
Count of Monte
Yeah,
Cristo
Dumas.
as well. Oh, there
Yes.
was two, wasn't there?
Yeah, there's Dumas Père and Dumas Fils. But Dumas Père wrote The Three Musketeers and The Count of Monte Cristo, and Dumas Fils wrote the Lady of the Camellias, slightly less famous.
So yeah, one of them had the hits then, didn't they?
Yeah, well, okay. But yes, you got that look with the long hair.
I don't know,
And
I've
the
kind of like done
goatee.
this sort of like moustache and goatee down here. But
Yeah.
Okay.
It would have really looked good in that costume. Okay.
So far you mentioned costumes, props.
None of which we're going to have. It's just going to be your face, and that's it.
Okay. So I'm going to do a fairly simple palette. It won't be a Zorn palette exactly. It'll have other variations in it, but there'll be an element of that in there. So I've got some yellow ochre, I've got some cadmium red. I won't use a black. I've got a blue and a brown, a ultramarine and a raw umber, which together will make a fairly good black, but it means I can steer it slightly from one to the other, so I can go a bit bluer if I need to. And I'm now going to put out, call me crazy, a little bit of Viridian green for the odd accent, and a little bit of alizarin, just for those sort of cool reds, should I need them. And I'm going to need some white as well. I've got some flake white here, and I think I might get stuck into it a bit today. Use a bit more of that than I normally do. especially for flesh tones, and try and create a bit of separation between the way the paint plays. There we go. It's very heavy because it's got lead in it. You have to be very careful. But I'm wearing my gloves, so it's okay.
It's still able to be produced even though it's got lead in it.
Yeah, you're just not allowed to eat it.
No. It looks so delightful though.
It does look delicious. So yeah, that's my public service announcement for the week.
Don't
Remember,
eat lead paint.
don't eat lead paint. Actually, don't eat any paint. You know, if I'm going to give advice, if any kids are listening or watching, remember not to eat paint. Just generally, just avoid it. Although, to be fair, titanium dioxide has been used as food colouring for a long time, and it's what they put in sun cream.
Is it?
There's a sunblock, which is why sunblock makes you look even whiter.
I don't eat that either though.
No, exactly. But yeah, food colouring, and then vegetable oil, which is all linseed oil, is really effectively, it is like, it's just 1 of your 5 a day, isn't it?
Okay.
Don't eat paint. Definitely don't eat paint. If you eat paint, it's not because I told you to. Okay. So I've got nicely, a little bit of cadmium yellow, just in case. Don't need much. Probably won't even touch it, but there you go. It's there just in case. And I'm going to start.
It's generally a good idea just to put out all the colours that you have.
Huh?
Is it generally a good idea to put out all the colours that you have? Or you're just making a choice?
Well, no. If you're not sure, start with a limited range. So I can pick a limited range out of these. The others aren't going to distract me, but I've done this before, so that helps. I'm going to start with a bit of tonal work, and I'm going to make it slightly greeny. I want a greeny underpainting, so I can turn some warmth up on top.
Do you live in Sherborne?
I don't know. No, I'm just outside of South Petherton at the moment.
Don't say exactly, the stalkers on it.
You travel to Sherborne every day?
3-4 times a week.
All right, okay.
So,
Are you from this area?
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Why don't you have like a Dorset accent then?
I don't know, I've never picked up an accent.
I thought it was something you just have, not that
Yeah.
you pick up.
We moved to a little village in Buckland Newton,
Okay.
which is about 20 minutes away from Sherborne, but I went to school at the Griffin.
All right.
So I know the area really well.
Yeah, my son went to school there. Just finished last year.
Mm-hmm.
St. James.
Yeah, that's good.
What did you do? At the Griffin? What did you do at your A levels?
A levels was physics, chemistry, sport studies, psychology.
Okay, why did you sport studies? Are you sporty?
I was at the time.
All right.
I was at the time.
You
Not
meant-
so much anymore.
We got over that.
Yeah.
Wow. Can
I
be a
still
phase.
play a bit of tennis.
It can be a
but,
phase, yes.
yeah, never went to uni.
You didn't go to uni?
No,
No, neither did I.
no, I went straight from school into. Even when I was at school, I was thatching during the school holidays.
You were what?
Thatching.
Oh, thatching. With
Yeah.
thatch. Oh,
So
okay.
putting straw on a roof.
So you went straight to work.
So I went straight into doing that full time and
Right.
was doing that for 8 years, 9 years, something like that.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
For thatching. How did you get into the coffee then?
Uh,
It's like a straight passage from thatching to coffee.
absolutely,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah. Did you not
Oh,
see
yeah.
the link?
Really not?
No, so we, after thatching I went travelling, came back, did a whole multitude
Yeah,
of different
we'll circle back
jobs.
to the travel in a minute. Yeah,
But then everything that sort of stitched it all together was that I'd wake up and make myself a good coffee each morning.
Right.
And I loved my coffee, and I was just, why did I not do that on a, as a job? And so moved from, I was working at a bank at the time,
Right.
to then going into the hospitality world and working as a barista and training up as that, because I'd never been trained as a barista, everything was self-taught up to that point, and then started getting some training, started geeking out, and yeah, the rest is kind of...
It's difficult to train as a barista. It takes all afternoon.
Well, actually, I've met some professional kind of barista. I would call like a like barman. You know, people also make cocktails, not just coffee. In my life, yeah, it's quite an interesting job. I mean, you could do that and travel while you do that. This person that I knew many years ago was going on cruises as well. You know, where you just there, so you have your hours of work, and then the rest is all, you know, taking part of whatever happens on the cruise. I don't know, I've never been, but it could be one of those jobs that can take you places, I think.
Yeah, it's a definite skill that's in the back pocket wherever you go. So.
I actually think that's interesting. I like that, yeah. But you started in Sherborne. So.
Yeah, so we roast our own coffee as well, and that we do that over in Bruton, and then we've got the shop in Sherborne to showcase what we do.
Yeah.
What shop's that?
Bean Shot.
Bean Shot Cafe in Sherborne.
That's the one.
So that, yeah, because Alex was saying when he was here that he does the roasting.
Yes.
He does some of the roasting.
Yeah, he does the roasting.
Yeah.
And then we have the shop where we're able to do coffees, bags of coffee, sell coffee-related equipment. Yeah, it's good fun.
Do you know that in Italy, people when they make coffee in their own house, okay, some people they got those fancy machines and make cappuccino with the thing, you know. But what my parents do, and what most people do, they have those little. They're called mocha.
Bialetti pots.
Yes, that's why they're called mocha. You know, or plural mocha, but mocha like that, where you put the water inside, and then you put that kind of a little filter with coffee in, and then you put it on the stove when it boils.
Yep.
When you go there, you switch it off, and that's what my mum does that every day.
Yep.
When he makes espresso and at home.
It's unusual.
I've got two at home, completely unused.
I was going to say it's unusual for an Italian household to not have one. It's almost
Yeah,
like in the UK, us
Yeah.
having a French press or a cafetiere. Like nearly everybody's got one.
Yeah, I've got two at home here in Sherborne, never use them. Well, my mum does when she comes, but yeah. So when did you travel?
Where did you say?
Where?
So started off in Southeast Asia.
Oh, nice.
Stayed there for 3 months.
Where in Southeast Asia?
Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam. And then from there went on to Australia for another 3 months.
I've been to Australia for 3 months.
That's great.
I know, it's a great place, Australia.
Then skipped across to New Zealand and was there for about 8 weeks, which I loved. I thought New Zealand was phenomenal. Then flew from there to LA, and it was only supposed to be a stopover flight when we got to LA, but we thought, well, we're in LA, let's just stay for a few days, and met up with a friend when I was out there who took us around some cool places, which was nice, and then from there went to Canada and stayed in Canada for about 6 months.
6 months in Canada? What, a particular city or place?
No, travelling around a lot. We stayed in one area, we stayed on Manitoulin Island, which is the biggest island on a natural lake.
When you say we, is it you and your girlfriend or your
Girlfriend at the time.
Is it wife now?
No.
No, I don't know. I'll go for at the time.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. It's just like
If you open it wider, you get both feet in.
Yeah.
I didn't get that, so stop it.
Girlfriend at the time had family out in Canada, and we basically visited all of them. I think so. We landed in.
What's
the
Canada
middle.
like?
It's amazing. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
The UK, everything's larger, and everybody's just nice. But yeah, spent a long time driving and going from the middle of Canada all the way out to Vancouver Island, drove all the way back, and then over to Montreal and Quebec, and stayed in Quebec for about 3 or 4 weeks, and that's where I flew home from.
That's proper traveling. That's really, really
No, it's good fun.
Yeah.
Good fun.
One of the people in Australia and Canada, places like that, are nice because they got lots of distance in between them. And when they're in Europe, because we're so condensed each other, we got a completely different mindset.
It's a good theory. I quite like that.
A completely different mindset. Not that we're mean or anything like that, but we are kind of more more on top of each other. Even though at the same time, I think we're used to living like that. For me, when I went to Australia a million years ago, like more than 20 years ago, I thought this is nice, but I couldn't live here. That space is in between everything, from you to the, I don't know, to the bar, to the supermarket where you may have to go over there. It's just like it made me really anxious instead of free or
well, there's, the place we stayed in Canada, it was 2.5 hours to go to a supermarket.
Exactly, and for them it's nothing, you know.
Yeah,
it's
that's
I'm
normal.
going to drive to London to the supermarket. You imagine that thinking like that. I think there's something to be said about having a European mind, which is something to do with space and the way it plays out and affects our mentality. Well, not in a bad way, it's just in a different way, yeah.
But equally though, I think in particular with the role that I do within the shop, I'd struggle without the connection of people.
Yeah.
So much as it would be really lovely to have all that sort of space and everything, but to
yes.
24/7, like it's nice to visit, but 24/7, I think it would get quite grating and difficult.
Yeah.
Especially for me, where I need to be around people. That's
I actually am also very good at dealing with people and having people around all the time, because I like that too. I like for myself too, but But yeah, I know what you mean. But wow, that is probably travelling.
Yeah.
Do you speak any languages other than English? Because those are all English-speaking countries that you went to, apart from.
no. Languages and maybe don't mix.
So just talk louder, didn't you?
Yeah, slower, louder.
Start with the common places. So what have we got there, James?
Okay. I've got a basic composition which I think I'm happy with. There'll be a bit of fine tuning as it goes along, but it's really getting the hands and the head in a way that's comfortable, where I'm not sort of distorting it too much. If I can get a few of the big shapes in, and I'm using this green at the moment as well, which is kind of an experiment.
How about giving it like a nice black background, a bit like Caravaggio? I'm reading this book on Caravaggio, so let me tell you about it for a bit. How all the images are like cramped within a small space.
I'll finish later. Remind me where I was.
Like a nice big black ground where his face and his hair comes out of, like, in a dramatic way. No, you don't like it, James?
I do. Yes, the dramatic chiaroscuro effect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was he a pioneer of that style of?
Yes, he was a bit. Yes, of this kind of very dark and almost theatrical kind of representation of religious images, but not just religious images, also some people were very low, not low class, but low life, like gamblers and like that, and prostitutes, and
He would do, but most of the sort of controversy came from the fact that he would use ordinary people as models to represent revered figures from biblical stories. Yeah. So you go, I need a John the Baptist, like, they'd just find any old person who was a drinker in a local tavern and go, you John the Baptist, sit still. And, but it created this sort of authenticity to the faces of the people he painted. They were lived faces; they weren't idealised. If you look at Da Vinci's faces, they all follow the similar pattern.
But there's a reason for that, which I'm discovering by reading the book, because Caravaggio was born kind of towards in the second half of the 16th century, and he lived his life. Well, he grew up until he went to Rome to work for his patron or whatever. And the period was called the Counter-Reformation, which is what the church wanted to take back, to bring back basic values of the Christian faith, you know, after the Reformation of the early 16th century. So they wanted to bring back like real images, something that people could look at and observe, and in order to believe more. So all this is part of also his surrounding. That's why he also made those choices of painting like that as well. But certainly, yes, he was pioneer in that, yes. And like all the pioneers in art history, he was not liked by everyone, and not everyone liked what he was doing. But there you are. It's like history repeating all the time.
Spent a fair bit of time on the run from law and creditors and tried to chop someone's balls off in a duel.
I haven't got to that part yet.
That's not going to make... No, that's the best bit. She isn't going to make you any friends.
But yes, it was the time in which that duel started, and this sense of defending your honor, and he was going around with a sword, and also, even though he was living in this palace with his patron, he still walked the streets at night and getting into fights, and what he did with his painting was creating this kind of collages of images and all the background. There was no nature. There's hardly any nature in his paintings. It's all about the human figures in a more dramatic way. Yeah. So.
All right, it's taken me a while to get to this, but getting to it.
Do you like art, Graham? Do you like what?
That's a no, isn't it?
No, I love art, but it's
like
the same with
so you don't have to.
My knowledge of art and different sort of time periods within art. Yeah, my knowledge is not there. I do enjoy going to galleries and
yeah, but you like going to galleries to look at paintings and you know, and
but not enough to know anything about it.
No, exactly.
well, not everyone.
I'm not criticising.
No,
I'm just saying. I'm suggesting that maybe he doesn't go to galleries very often. He's just trying to be polite.
Well, plus we get to.
I don't really see the point in art. Some of us are trying to do something useful.
Okay, well, you come to the gallery with me, Graham, and then I'll be more interested. Maybe perhaps we should take it to a gallery.
So it's just a bunch of people poncing around, isn't it?
I look at a piece of artwork and make a decision on whether I like it or not. Sometimes the more I stare at a painting, the more I can like it.
And have you ever wondered why you like it? Why you like it? If you really had to explain why you like something, have you ever done the why?
I have done.
Right.
When somebody has asked why have I liked painting, and sometimes I can't say.
Okay, which makes absolute sense. Mm-hmm. Yes.
But the sort of Ponzi people that James speaks about that wander around art galleries.
I'm talking about myself. I'm not pointing any fingers here.
It's something which, it's not something that I'm knowledgeable about, so I don't understand.
I don't think that really matters, to be honest with you. As a viewer of art, you can, as you say, like and not like, which is absolutely fine. That's the whole point. But I think if you want to get deeper into that, you could just really analyse why you like something, why you don't like something, why something speaks to you, and why something doesn't. You know, because art is exactly that. It's not exactly what's on the wall. It's exactly the language that speaks to you. And if that language speaks to you, then you are connected to that piece of art. Whether you know about art history, that's another subject. I'm interested in art history, obviously, because I am. But it's not why I like to go and see exhibitions. They are similar. They are connected things, but also separate things. Yes.
It's figuring out an artist that I would want to go and see, and then going and seeing the exhibition that they put on, and then if it's in a big gallery, then it's going and looking at other things whilst I'm there as well, and trying to broaden the horizons that way. But, yeah.
Okay. How are we? Any messages? Anyone viewing? Steve?
No messages.
Oh,
yet.
click the chat. You have to click the chat tab, and it will show you.
No.
I had a feeling that was coming.
What
quite
happened?
fun.
What happened?
It's the delivery.
So there's people watching, but they're clearly using their hands to
No.
wield knives and forks and
Let's
dinner
hope
in
so.
their faces.
I hope everyone's enjoying their dinner. And
Wow.
there you are. I'm going to concentrate on the face for a bit now. Try and sort of pin this down, as it were. So that shape on the side of the nose is going to be important. And if I can build everything out from that. There you are. Just get some simple areas of light and dark in. Yeah, which is sort of all I need at the beginning. Face is relatively small compared to, you know, to sort of a portrait that's just about the face. So I'm not going to be trying to go into super fine detail. But yeah, it's going to be the focus of the image. But the hands are going to share in that. There's particularly interesting things to do with how the shape of the jumper there, shape of the shadows on the neck, other little details. And that green underneath is mostly thinners, so that's going to kind of stain the surface and show through a bit. You know, it'll give me something to warm up gradually, rather than sort of a proper ground colour. Okay. And I'm still in the drawing stage as well. I'm still finding my way around how this is going to sort of sit on the surface. Once that's in, then I think I could start to get comfortable. Space there. It's going to lead down to the wrist. Okay, I'll put in some of these dark and light shapes now. So it can work scale-wise. That's pretty much the same as the neck to the top of the head. Yeah, okay, things are looking alright. Got an angle to the back of that hand. That is pretty much going to angle down like that. It seems to all agree at the moment. I'm still not entirely convinced, but I'm just using a sort of a purpley black I mixed from a previous painting. But again, I'm only really thinking about darks and lights and simple drawing at the moment.
So my son is in Barcelona. My son James is in Barcelona at the moment. 4 days ago, I was going to say down to Easter.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
it's a long time.
Yeah, I'm going to go there the middle of March to see it just for a couple of days. Yes, I'm quite excited. I love paint.
It's guaranteed sunshine as well.
Yeah, he said, yeah, 4 days ago that was sunny, but now it's kind of on and off. But you know, it's still January, so it's not that. But it's certainly not 2 degrees or -2. Yeah, no, it's not that, not like that. Cool.
I only had to scrape ice off the car once this year, and it's already boring. I don't like it.
Right.
I had to do that this morning.
So I don't have a car. Quite a privilege to live without a car, you know.
So you live in Sherwood?
I live in Sherwood, I work in Sherwood, yes.
Been there long?
9 years, nearly 9 years.
Cool.
Quite a long time. Up to me it's a long time. Before that I lived in Italy for 12 years, and before that in London, before that in Italy. So
Right.
it goes back a bit.
What's caused the sort of like jumping between countries?
It's a long story. Well, first when I was young,
bowl.
and boring. Cool. No, I came here to Sherwood because my son is half British, so from Italy when he was born. I wanted to come here for him to go to school here. Now he's gone, so now we'll see what happens.
Yeah, this is interesting. Oh, it's taken me a while to get this drawing in, but once it's in, things should simplify a little bit. And again, I'm probably being overly fussy.
Are you a perfectionist as a painter?
I would say no. Steve would agree with me. Michela would say yes.
Yes, you are a perfectionist as a painter.
Steve, am I a perfectionist?
Within certain
That's no. That's no, I'm not.
constraints.
Yeah, he is because he's.
It's all relative.
It is all relative, that's the point.
I think he's
yeah.
a perfectionist because he's always striving for the perfection that he knows he's not going to get anyway, but still, you know, he still wants it.
Yeah, in the sense that nothing's ever good enough. That's just part of
Yes.
the nature of it. You just accept that and do it anyway.
Yeah, you don't think it's
I wrote a blog post on how even in the shop will never serve you a perfect cup of coffee. Because the minute that you get to what you perceive as perception,
Yep.
you then lose all kind of desire to drive and grow and
Sounds like an episode of the Black Mirror.
So that's why the coffee's like it is.
well, yeah, exactly. We're still trying.
Yeah. That all makes sense now.
Knew there was a reason we didn't see you very frequently.
Don't you go there and have a coffee, James?
I'm just too. I go for the social because obviously my house is 3 doors away.
We could go
you know.
together. You drink a coffee, pretend to like it, and I don't drink it because I really don't like it. We're quite a pair of clients. I deal with customers.
No, they're doing well though. They've got a lot of people
I
coming in
know.
and pretending to like the coffee. It's going well, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to mix some simple core colours now. You know what? A little bit of that green just in the neck. It's just
So
stained.
what do people say of his paintings on the wall?
I really love them.
Yeah.
They like how different the subject matters are that he
Yeah.
paints, which is such a talking point.
Yes, of course. And conversation pieces.
Yeah, and where the paintings change every week, or
Yeah.
you know, a new one is added, then there's just constant conversation.
Yeah.
So it's brilliant. It's really good,
That's nice to hear.
Yeah. I'm sure it is. Yeah.
and it's
On the palette.
Yes, please.
and it,
Well
it
spotted.
certainly yeah, strikes up lots of conversations, especially the last one with Alex. Well, because obviously
really?
it's having a colleague or somebody that works there having a portrait done in the style that James painted it in was kind of quite regal, quite.
So is this going to coincide with also the one of Alex being up at the same time, or is it gone off?
No, Alex is going to drop off the wall.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
Unless we substitute, what we could do is get rid of the Christmas crackers.
Well, somebody did
I
point
think-
out that we should get rid of the Christmas decorations because it's no longer Christmas and it's bad luck. So,
Yeah. But you
Yes,
could
but
say
I-
exactly the same all the way through November and December.
True.
You shouldn't put up Christmas decorations until you definitely know the sun is coming back.
Yeah, those are
And-
boring
and it's
people.
not
They're
like
it's too
winter
early and then it's too late. Oh my God, give me a break. But yes, oh, I know. Trust me, I can stand any of that. But yes, I think the two portraits of you at the same time up there would be quite.
And then we've just got to get Ashley to come and get that as well. So.
I did warn her that there's a pattern here, isn't there?
Well, if you can do it within work hours, then she can't say no because it's just a task that I have to go and set her to do.
I don't think you own her. I think she still has free will. I mean, I'm not sure about UK employment law, but I think that's part of it.
True.
I'll have to look that up. Okay.
Steve, are you bored yet? Steve,
No, it's just you.
he doesn't even hear me.
Right.
Right.
So I need to get some colours in. I'm going to mix a bluish colour as well with a bit of brown, a little bit of white in it. Maybe make it slightly purple. And I can use that to darken things. So I've got a dark warm, light warm, a very dark cool, and I guess I'll have a light cool as well. Probably go here. But not too light. What else am I going to need? So I'm going to need the main flesh tone, which is kind of what I've got over here. That's going to have a bit more white in it. And a little bit of grey in it. Is that too much? Oh, I can always pink it up a bit as it goes along. That's a slightly more peachy one. A bit more titanium white in that.
Do you go to London often? Or
No,
not
not
very
really,
often?
no.
Not really often.
It's only a short hop on the train,
Mm.
unless someone's parked their car on the train track.
Who parks the car on the train track?
That's a very interesting question. I don't know the answer to it, but there is someone, because it happened last week.
Really?
Yeah, I had to go and pick Stephen from Yeovil Junction because someone had just turned left onto the railway tracks. And then rather than just remove the car, they had to have policemen standing around it and cancel all the trains. Like, it's a car, and it still had wheels on it. There was no, and it was about 5 metres onto the train tracks before obviously they realised they'd made a mistake. And
Really?
Then, yeah, and then they sort of removed the people and left it
And
there.
the trains were cancelled
It was
all
bizarre.
day because of that.
Yeah, it's craziness.
I know, it's crazy,
they've
isn't it?
cancelled for a while.
We still can't really figure out why they didn't just move it and go, it's not there anymore, it's fine, we can carry on. But no, apparently you can't
Yeah,
do
they
that.
say it's got wheels.
Homo
Drive
sapiens.
on there.
It was very bizarre.
Yeah, Homo sapiens sapiens.
Anyway, I
There you
feel
are.
very lucky that that's about the most interesting thing that happens around where I live. Okay, here's a nice big part of sort of soft black,
Ooh, I like black.
ultramarine and raw umber. So it's got this sort of slightly greeny, greyish quality to it.
It's my favourite colour.
We were discussing this before. It wasn't really a colour until Manet.
Well,
really,
it is to
but-
me. Okay, I'm joking. All colours are colours, I think. Even no colour is a colour. Is it? Oh, come on. No,
But
please
that-
don't be so sophisticated like a white is no colour, black is no colour, and all that. It's just the, why?
No, okay. It's a matter
Because
of.
of the light that does not reflect or reflects too much.
No, I guess if I keep listening, I'll find out. Where was I? Yes. So I want to use this and make a bluey grey version. It's quite a sticky white here, so I'll make a bit more of that. And then I can make a greeny version of that and a bluey version of that. And then I'll make a warmer version of the black, and then I'll have enough variations there to do the jacket. So, bit of green in half of that. I did almost nothing. A bit more. There we go. Green version, blue version. Yeah, so there was all this idea that you should never use black on a palette, that you should always mix your own, but the idea of using it, yeah, there was this idea that it wasn't a colour, it was an absence of colour, an absence of light, and the colour only came about through light. But the way Manet used it as a paint to depict a local colour, it sort of got its power of depiction back, and White did as well, especially with Whistler. Whistler's use of white was very much
Yes.
turning it back into a colour. But the point is, it isn't a hue. It's, you know, a grayscale has no hue. It just has tone. So that's the key to that. But I think with Graham's jacket there, I think like the lady at the bar at the Folie Bergère, and the Folie Bergère. Have I just gone? Do I need to be committed to an asylum?
What did you say?
I couldn't say it, and I still can't say it even in my head. Le Folie
Le Folie what?
in Paris.
Yeah, what are you talking
Well, I
about?
can't say it.
You're right. It is, it's the point of Bergère.
Bergère.
Le Folie
Is it
Bergère.
Bergère? Oh
Yeah.
God, that just turned into a non-word in my head,
It's probably a word you haven't thought of or,
Yeah.
or said for a long time.
and it
Why are
came
you
out my
talking
mouth.
about that in relation to
If
black?
you've been listening, you'd know. The barmaid at the Folie Bergère is wearing entirely black,
Oh yeah, like that painting.
and but yet it's solid and it's at the front. It's not a void into which all light has fallen. It's this present thing at the front, and it's. I think that's what I'm going to have to do with Graham here. I'm going to
What-
take a bit of that black.
One of the best exhibition I've seen, it was, it's the artist called Lynette Jodenboitke. She is English, I think of African origins. Anyway, so lots of portraits, not portrait, lots of figurative paintings.
Oh, heavy black backgrounds.
Of black people on black backgrounds, and that was amazing. It was amazing. The intensity coming through, and it was just like,
Well, there's a weight to it, and I'm definitely going to have some the light background is going to be, that's definitely going to be here.
Yeah.
That's going to be quite floaty. I'm going to put this warm colour in. I put the green in for the flesh tones. I'm going to put this warm black in for the jacket. Fairly thin, a bit of thinners on this, but just to sort of get some of these shapes in. I might go over the edges a bit as well.
Do you read books? Are you a reader of books?
Are you trying to shame the poor man?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to talk about.
He's a very busy, successful businessman who loves coffee and almost nothing else. I think we should
Do you
keep
play
it
an
on the
instrument?
No.
Tell us about the coffee, Graham.
Do you? No. What do you do then?
He makes coffee and plenty of money and
I'm sure he
employs
does something
people.
else, James.
I cook.
You cook.
Ah,
You like
okay.
cooking.
Yeah.
You see, I'm Italian, so I'm very good at cooking as well.
It's, yeah, my way of kind of de-stressing at the end of the day is to go home and cook a meal, and it always used to be kind of joked that you could tell how much of a stressful day I had by the length of time it took me to cook a meal.
Really, it's a way of unwinding.
But yeah,
What do you like to cook?
Asian cuisine, mostly so Chinese, sometimes Indian,
Yes.
but yeah, mainly sort of
Stir
Asian
fries
cuisines.
and so you like spicy food as
Yes.
well. Yes.
Yeah.
me
Well,
too.
now I'm double embarrassed about the pie. I'm sorry about that.
I was going to say, must have enjoyed the mashed potatoes. Yeah.
I did
I'm sure it's
a red Thai curry over the weekend
Wow.
from scratch, and it was just, yeah, it was divine. It was really nice. I like
I like it. I think so. I
Finding-
think if there's a heaven, it smells like curry.
finding a recipe that has ingredients I've never used before, and
Oh, really?
figuring out how to use them and what's the best way of using them, and yeah, it's good fun.
Right, so tonight I made some polenta for myself. Not
Cool.
made, like made it from, you know, you buy the packet. And I can't explain to James what polenta is. It's not dough, and it's not, how would you explain that? It's like corn flour, but it's not flour because it's coarse.
It's almost
When you
like
put
very,
in water,
very, very fine couscous in a
yeah,
way.
very, very, very fine couscous, but becomes like,
But yeah, it can be
Don't
made
separate
into
it.
lots of amazing cakes and things like that as well. It's got a really interesting texture when you eat it. It's
yes, it is. I mean, I normally make it plain. Tonight I just put like little bits of mozzarella on top. I don't need cheese, but I need mozzarella. And or I can make sort of mushroom sauce with cream and put it on top. So I don't need meat. But you can make all sorts of things. You make some like bolognese sauce and put it on top.
yep.
And I mean, that's what my mum normally does. Bolognese sauce on top with parmesan cheese. Something I would never eat. But it's an interesting dish, polenta, isn't it?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I really, really like it. It's very quick and it's, yeah.
Yeah, quick, easy. Pairing it with the right things, you can get it to taste amazing as well. So
Exactly, yes. Do you also make things like your own pizza, your own bread and things like that, or pizza
No,
bread?
I've not really ventured into breads.
No? Okay.
No, it's. I know a lot of people did that throughout lockdown.
It's the
was-
easiest
yeah,
thing to do,
it's-
like pizza dough and things like that, yeah.
Yeah, a friend of mine got a pizza oven a while ago, and I'm more than happy to go and taste the dough that he's eaten as long as it's been cooked in the pizza oven. So, yeah, but no, just not something that I've really ventured into yet. I started doing, for a while, again through lockdown, I did making kefir and also
What's kefir?
kombucha. So kefir is a fermented milk, and you use kefir pearls, which are bacteria that eat the lactose which is in the milk. So you leave it at room temperature with these kefir pearls in it.
Okay.
After about 24 to 36 hours, you then strain the milk through a sieve, which is then kefir, which has loads of really good bacteria for your gut. when
And you
drink
use
it.
it as milk?
No, it's
like
like its own. It's a thick milk or a thin yogurt.
Like
It
a
sits
cream.
between the two.
Right.
But also, if you get it just right, it's a little bit fizzy. which is really bizarre, but it's
that's
it's
interesting.
got some amazing
To think of it,
health
try, I
and
don't-
good gut benefits with it.
Yeah.
And then kombucha is the other one that I do, which is a fermented tea. So you have a thing called a SCOBY, which is a living bioorganism, which you then brew tea with quite a lot of sugar, and then you put the SCOBY in with it, and the SCOBY will basically eat the sugar that's in it. It's like a yeast, so it eats the sugar which is in the tea.
That's fascinating. I've
which
never
then-
heard about any of this at all. I mean, I like cooking, but not to this kind of experimental level. Like you do.
Both of them, they're just sort of fermented drinks. So how you can ferment sort of vegetables and keep them going for a lot longer.
Okay.
But it has a lot of interesting benefits to it, like good gut
Okay.
bacteria, which modern day lifestyle seems to kill quite a lot of it. So
All right. Okay.
There's a lot of that in. I've been hearing quite a lot of that in people talk dietary experts. Really, just fermented foods, kimchi and
yes,
just
yeah,
all
kimchi's
sorts
great.
of fermented foods being like very important and something that's very much missing from a sort of a modern Western diet.
Well, it's something that in years gone by we lived off fermented foods. It was the way that you could preserve them and keep them for lasting for longer.
Sure.
And in modern day world, we don't. We have the access to Sainsbury's, Waitrose. We can go and pick up food and eat it there and then. So there's not having to wait around for anything to grow or to get into the right season for it. So it's a great way of being able to reintroduce those back into our diets. And actually, our bodies really like the kind of bacteria that it does put back into, like the good bacteria that it does put back into your body, because we need it to be healthier.
Yeah.
My mum's
But
cooking was always really good for that. But she kept all the bacteria in it. Good, bad, indifferent.
I don't drink milk. Okay, because I don't like
So
it.
you could, for the
I
right
drink
kefir,
almond milk, and I have yogurt, but other than and occasional mozzarella. But other than that, I don't eat any dairy. I don't even like cheese. Doesn't mean I am lacking in that. Is that fermented food? Or what else could be fermented? Sorry, I'm ignorant here.
Yogurt.
Okay, I have lots of
Yeah.
yogurt.
Yeah,
Yes,
you could-
I
you
have
could
lots of
ferment
yogurt.
yogurt.
So I like that. Yeah, okay.
and in fact, like quite a lot of yogurts on the market are sort of.
Yeah, that's okay.
They
So I'm
would
not
ask-
missing on that. Okay.
Anything with
right.
living bacteria in it.
Yes.
So most of what I cook.
Well, I don't eat your food anyway.
No, well, I think there is something about that. I mean, you could just sort of, you could eat a lot of bad food, and your gut would have to be, if you were still alive, it's because your gut had handled it, which means you'd have a very healthy
Yeah,
gut
but you know my
microbiome.
guts are not very
But
good.
eventually you'd push it too far, and then you'd poison yourself and die, and then, and then you'd
But you
be,
can't try anything else.
yeah, and you can't warn anyone else and go, well, don't
But-
push it too far.
I'm wondering whether or not, because I'm so delicate in stomach, for all the things
Is
that I
it
don't
the
eat.
lactose that you don't like or
The
that you
what?
can't handle in milk?
It's the taste of it, and also because I don't like cheese. Never liked cheese all my entire life, or at least any cheese that tastes like cheese. And milk, I stopped about more than 10 years ago because I thought it would make me bloated, and it wasn't really. I also the idea of drinking milk makes me slightly sick. I have to say. But I have lots of yogurt, but that's pretty much it. And I don't eat any meat. Some fish, very little fish, and eggs. Maybe. Yeah.
I'm going to talk
Because-
about painting now.
Okay. Yes. we
Yes,
talk about
we've apparently we strayed. The conversation strayed a little.
Someone
to
commented.
food. Yes.
Oh, well.
I think Sarah would prefer it got back to talking about painting.
Making yeah. Well, yes,
Apologies to Sarah.
that's all right.
But I thought that was very interesting.
No, yeah, I'm having a bit of a fight here with mixing colours that I can actually see in front of me, but I think this is going to be a useful one. It's similar to this, slightly less yellow. I better just start putting some paint on. I'm not going to go with a big brush. I'm going to go with a fairly medium one. and I'm going to use this as my light colour here. I'm just going to put a few bits and pieces on.
Do you find that some days when you're painting that you just can't get the colour that you're wanting?
I know, I always get it, and also colour doesn't exist in an absolute way. It's relative.
Like time.
No. No,
No, in a different way.
in a different way. It's relative like pitch. If you were playing a song in C major and then you played the same relative notes but transposed down to B flat, you'd hear the same tune, but the notes would be different. And it works the same way. It's the relationships between colours that makes them work. So if I start with the wrong colours, it will affect the next colours and whether they do their job or not. Now I'm looking at light shapes. I'm going to get a second brush going as well. And there's some angles here that I need to pull out. And if I can get some of those right, I can then start to warm them up. So yeah, who are we going with? Okay, I'm going to make that a little bit more orange. I'm going to put some of this over here. And I'm just looking at big shapes. I know he hasn't got a mouth yet or anything like that. But he will have soon. Bit redder. And then back to my little beigey colour. It all looks a bit weird and distorted at the moment. This is one of those times when you're glad that the person you're painting can't see it yet, because we can't help but see a face even when it's not there yet. So I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll get rid of. Let's warm this up.
You did offer earlier you to set up a mirror.
Yeah.
And I declined.
Yeah. Okay. Make a darker red for the shadow. And keeping these shadow shapes warm. Some shadow down here. And then also up here and up here.
How old are you, Graham?
38.
I was just trying to, you know, from your look, to guess.
What did you have in your head?
35.
I'll take that.
How old do you think Michela is?
Quick.
How is that relevant? It's the subject of the painting.
You can't ask the same question you asked 20 seconds ago, like, if that's relevant.
No, it's just like, it's,
I'm just saying, if it was relevant when you asked it, it's relevant when I
my age is not relevant.
Okay.
I'm the oldest here, so shush.
Okay. I'm really fighting this one. So I'm going to squint it out. And squint it out until it behaves. It's very odd how distorted this looks at the moment. That's because it's prompting the eye to see a face which isn't actually, like we want to see outlines to a face and things like that. Is it seeing outlines in the wrong places? And my eye's doing it too. You don't get a let off just because you're the painter.
So what are you going to do about that?
I'll get it right. Fix it. Move things around.
Sarah's message to say that she doesn't think you look the age you said you are.
Which I didn't say
I think he
yet.
looks older as well. Oh, is that waking up now?
Sarah. Who is Sarah again?
Sarah Phillips
Ah,
She is. So
Sarah
thank you.
on Facebook.
Phillips is an excellent oil painter.
I'm a master of deceit, of disguise.
Well, I mean, it wasn't specific. Just said, yeah.
Oh, well, there you are.
She's also a very kind person and a terrible liar. Right, okay, if I can have a bit of stillness. We've got animated face sort of done. Make a few little changes. There's a weird thing going on with the shape of your head.
Is it cup of tea time? Not yet?
Yeah, oh,
I
I
don't
love
know.
one,
The
thanks.
steel is the one, I don't know, all the time too. 8:05.
I know it's unnerving, isn't it?
Unnerving.
Okay. Let's get some of this light in. I'm going to keep this quite sketchy. I'm really quite determined to try and get a likeness in before I stop for a break, but
Oh, Matthew's very kindly offered to come and create some noises whilst you're painting.
excellent. Yes, that's well. No, that's the thing I've been planning for a while. So, Matt, if you know my my little time lapses, then you know they've usually got music too, and that's music by the wonderful Matthew Wright, who so he's got a 6-string bass.
So 1.5 basses then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, in time.
Absolutely. So that's entertaining just on its own.
Perhaps you can come here once instead of me, so you can play and talk.
That's the plan.
So I can be completely cancelled out of the equation.
You made him smile now. Okay, it's starting to come. The form's starting to come in now, though. There is a. What would you call it? A sort of a. Are you nodding off, Graham? You've been.
No, not at all.
Right. Okay. It's the mouth. It's the mouth which is going to be really tricky, and until I've got the nose right. There we are, we're finding him now. So yeah, no particular details, but I'm starting to get the face shape behaving itself. Yeah, a bit more of that. So then once I've got that grounding, I'm going to go back to the darks and do some quick bits of hands. It should be nice and simple because I can see what's going on now. So I'll start with the darks. Or a little bit of that black. Pop it in. The important thing here is put all the darks in and then find the lights afterwards. That's what's going to make it hands appear.
I selected all the hands from all the paintings that I photographed that I saw over Christmas in Italy.
Yes.
And I did a little hand study of the, very interesting, of the hands.
I still think you robbed that idea off me, actually.
Likely.
Well, I did it on my last show, didn't I? I did a whole Instagram post of all the hands from my paintings.
Oh, you did, didn't you? I forgot
Yeah, I
about
did,
that.
yeah.
But I
Did you?
forgot about that, so unconsciously I saw that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You thought you'd forgotten about it, but secretly you thought, you know what, I'll nick that idea and pretend it was mine.
I could have equally done feet.
Yeah, but
No.
you didn't, did you?
Well, I did hands.
Didn't you? Yeah.
My father was doing feet and I did hands.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
So.
Okay. So that's probably enough shadow for hands. If I go back to this light
We
colour.
better recreate that intersection of hands there. I'll say
Oh,
after
thanks.
the break.
Oh yeah, well
I'll be
actually,
positioning your hands
Graham
there.
holds his hands like this all the time, so
Yeah, it looks like very natural in that position.
I'm
actually.
trusting him to go back to them. So I did my little sketch and his hands were like this, and now they are again. So again, it's not getting too carried away with any details, but it would help to have that in there, that across there,
Sorry,
and
That looks
this
weird.
one.
on the screen. It always looks
Yeah.
so different on the screen. Oh, you see, because I see Graham and face. But yeah, I will. Ever so different on the screen. I notice in the wigs.
Now, I think I've got the basic shapes in now. And the basic likeness as well. So, yeah, I'm going to come back and finish this off in 5 minutes. In the meantime, I still haven't done another time lapse, so I will start mixing them up because I've got a lot of old
great
ones.
profile. You should have his profile. It's got a nose a bit like yours.
We'll set you up an easel. We can compare.
No,
and
no, but
contrast
it's got a
it.
nose a bit like yours, James. So slightly like yours.
No one's quite got a nose like mine.
Oh, there you are. I know. No, you're right. It is a little bit better than yours.
It is. It looks like one nose on its own for a start. That helps. You don't need to turn it down if you just put the break time lapse in.
Okay.
There we are, back again. Now I'm going to start getting some drawing with colour, and this is the key to this painting, I think. I've got these deeper reds, and there's some deeper reds in Graham's face in particular areas. So if I start to build them to a certain extent, I can break them afterwards. Ah. Sure if this is quite working yet, but there's some shadow and some reds and some shadow, and some more reds in here. Deep shadow under the neck. Now, okay, these are cooler. Cooler shadows. I'll borrow a bit of this green back. Still warm, but not as warm. Now this is going to be key. There is a shadow sort of here, and sort of like that. And a similar one around here somewhere. Okay, what else have I got? You can walk across the...
I shall. Do a little close up.
Yeah, actually that would be good. So this is also a point where I might want to be moving things like eyebrows and stuff around. I'm pretty sure this one's okay. Might have to do a bit of a rethink here and there. But mostly, I think that's alright. There's a little cool shadow there. Okay, let's go back to that warm red. And let's bring that in under here, and it will mix on the surface to a certain extent, which is okay. That's what I wanted to do. Go for even a more pinky red over here, maybe a bit lighter. There we are. Now these shapes that appear out of that should help things. Where else are they? There's definitely a bit over here. I'm going to want some of that background colour as well, which I might just quickly jump ahead and do. Slightly grey. I'll put other accents in that as it goes along, but to begin with, that will allow me to change some of these shapes. Okay, and other shadow colours. A bit of moustache. Okay, well I've got that dark on there. Okay, now I'm starting to pin this down a little bit. It's behaving itself a little better. Oh no, got that shape wrong. It's very much straighter. So I will get a small brush out and do a little bit of detail as I go along. While this darks in, I can start to shape a nostril. Okay, this is taking me too long to do this as well, but it's always a bit different every time. So the drawing was quite a slow one here, and I couldn't quite pin down the lightness as I went along. But now I've got this dark on the brush, I don't want to forget about the hands as well at the same time. So let's pop those in like that. What else? A bit of dark in there, and under there. Over there. A little bit here. What else? Is that enough? Is that enough for that? I think it probably is. So are we getting any messages coming in?
Yes, a couple of hellos from Viv and Josie.
Oh, hi Viv, hi Josie.
Facebook.
Okay. A few more darks up here, getting a bit looser now, chucking a bit more paint on. Haven't quite got the shape of the head yet, but yeah, sometimes these things are a battle. Now I think I can probably get away with a bit by having some hair sticking out. No, that's made it worse. What was I thinking? Okay, there's a few little battles going on here. One of them is that lower lip. I think I need to do something a bit greyer. Bit of alizarin. There you go. Okay, I need to relax a bit here. I think I felt like I was trying to do too many things at once earlier. But I can see it. I can see it better. I can see what that mouth needs to do and how it's different. see where that dark needs to come up from the underneath. Still not quite right. And I think I've got the light around the top, which is the slightly yellowy one. Let's see if I can fix that. A bit more in here. Maybe I shouldn't have done that drawing earlier, because that came out rather well. I've used up all my portrait luck. He's nearly there, it's so close. This is tantalising, it really is. I think. A bit there. Right, I've got these blues. I'm going to make a little blue version here. Put a little bit of reflected light on that, on the side of that temple there. A little bit underneath. I think what I don't have is a proper shape of the nose. I think maybe if I can get that in. It gets pinker over here. in the eyes. Yeah, it's definitely the eyes. I think they're lower down. That's what I've done. Let's move that. Where are they? Well, that's already better. It's just one little mark can make a difference like that. Okay. Oh, this has been a bit of a battle, this one, but gradually he's appeared. There's actually more face to put on. Got extra face. Still not quite there. It's a question of what I haven't got yet is any kind of what you might call whites of the eyes. I'll make a greyer version of that flesh tone. Let's see if I can fit that in like this. Slightly grey version next to it. Okay. A lot of eye movement. Yeah. Okay, it's all gone very quiet now. All or nothing. Okay.
It's much improved.
Yeah, it's starting to turn up.
Yeah, you got the mouth right. Don't touch the mouth. I don't think it's really right now.
I don't want to get too carried away with eyes and things. But actually no, there's more detail. Yeah, it's just going to be a battle with the eyes at the end. That's going to be the whole thing. No, this is around the other side that needs to come around here. Oh, yeah, okay, it's coming on. Right, smaller brush. I might even actually get a soft brush and do some detail, but if to begin with, I can do it with this and a couple of dashes. A little flick there. That might be enough. Oh, a slight greeny colour here. Use a tiny little bit of that. Yeah. Right. Okay, let's go in here with this. Well, that's going to be the more purpley one, but I'll finish the greens off while I'm here. Okay, so the last bit will be if you are a Whitney Houston fan, the fan club meet in Sherborne every Monday evening, and they'll do wheel spins in the car park, and then they'll have a boogie.
Hurry up, 'cause I'm late.
You need to go.
I went to the Whitney Houston
Car park
Car park,
extravaganza.
Yeah.
Young people of today love Whitney Houston, don't they? Can't get enough. hopefully that will do enough to sort of communicate jacketness. So there's a nice blue light going on over here, so I'll just flash a bit of that on, hope it works. Now I've got Whitney Houston songs playing in my head. It doesn't take much. Okay, hands. Let's get those hands done. I might come back with a few little details for the face and stuff later, but first things first. We've got this light. Let's start with the light. There's particular shapes. Should we put the redness in first? Maybe I'll do that first. Get a bit of a blistering going here. Where's that going to be? It's going to be in there. It's going to be in some of these shadows. It's going to be in there as well, isn't it? I'm going to go overboard. Do 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 do. Oh yeah, some reds in there. Look. Okay, so is that 9 o'clock?
1:45.
1:45, oh right, okay. Once again, pretty much on schedule. Oh yeah, how are you feeling, Graham, alright?
All good, thank you.
Stuff. Now, fingernails are interesting because they're lighter and darker than the finger around them. Just figuring out where. I'm not. Those little bits, I don't think I've got the detail here, but that's alright. We didn't do the bean shot advert, did we?
I don't think so.
No, I did a little ad. And I do a voiceover for it, but I usually improvise it. Emma specifically requested I do another one like I did with Alex, but I trusted that you were too busy to ever hear it, so I thought I'd get away with it. Ooh, that's getting tricky now.
Did you watch this when he was painting Alex? Did you watch it on Facebook?
He didn't.
I
Stop
didn't.
forcing him to admit these things.
I watched the time lapse you went. Did you?
Didn't do a time lapse, no.
Not with that one. Okay.
The flower.
Mm.
Flowers.
Yeah, it's a shame because it was a really good advert. Definitely designed to drum you up a lot of business.
Go back and watch them on YouTube. There's a plug you there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Back ahead.
Bit of tit for tat, yeah. No, I didn't say anything nasty about it. It was just something like, you know, do you have more money than you need? Do you like coffee? Then you'll love. Yeah, I'm very rude about it, only for fun. And yeah, I go there. So but no, it's I've been talking about this really because it's, you know, I mean, obviously compared to other coffee shops, it's really not much different. There's almost nothing in it, but there's a little bit in it, and yet I'd rather be there than loads of other places, and I think it's because there, you know, there is a sense of an atmosphere that, you know, that people aren't just there to sort of fill up on caffeine so they can get on with their miserable lives. They go there to hang out and have a bit of space. You've cultivated that really nicely. I'm kind of coming around to the hipster way of being. that thing of, you know, being more about the experience than anything else. I'm wondering how I can bring that to my painting. Bit of a fight going on here with this last bit. Oh God, that's horrible. Ah! Quick! Panic! Spatula!
I don't think I've ever seen you move so fast.
Yes, I'm probably usually a bit more sedate than that. I get it. Right, let's just put some of those shapes back in. Okay, I'm going to need some dark reds in a few places. There. There. That's confusing. There. And the thumbnail. That's not thumbnail thing now. Okay, what about the lights? Ah. Yeah, I need a bit more time to really get these hands done properly. And by the time I've got, I think I can do something. Light in there. I feel like the time's ticking away here and I'm not making the most of this. I want to load the brush every single time just to get a single mark on here. Let's have a yellow or white. It's really hard to judge whether this is working or not until it's sort of already on there. Is Michela talking louder than me 2 rooms away? I should make more noise, shouldn't I? There we go. I think that will do. And that. Is that making any sense? It sort of is. I guess the last thing is get the brown of your jumper in, shall we? Yellow ochre, bit of raw umber, bit of white, do the shadow first. Same again. All white. No. Well, I must say you've been very, very patient, Graham. Excellent sitter, there we are. Okay, get the excess off this. Back in there, a bit more pink on your neck. Okay, now I've got you. Oh, it's so confusing where the likeness lies. And it's changed slightly from one person to another as well, so. Yeah, we've got that highlight there. Now, a few highlights, one on the nose. A little bit on the brow. A bit around that side of the head. Got the eye socket shape, that's okay. Don't want to overdo it. A little bit into the cheek, a little bit in here. A little bit above the eye there. So yeah, you do look like you're nodding off a bit, but no, in the painting. I do. But actually, no, there's this sort of relaxed introspection which I did sort of want to capture.
That's a discussion we had earlier then, wasn't it?
Well, we all have these expressions that we're not aware we have when we go somewhere else in our mind. Yeah, I think they have a special value. You know, they're probably a much bigger part of how others see us. So. So that's 9 o'clock. I'm not going to be afraid of going a few minutes over. Oh, it's very confusing where your fingers are coming from, but that's what they look like. No, there's one last little bit. It's the top of this one. And that's okay actually. Tell you one last thing I will do, just while I wrap up, is that background. I was talking about the background, I was talking about this grey. I've got a few greys here. I'll use a little bit of oil in that, just make it go a bit further. And I want to put some accent colours into this background, a kind of visual mixing, but it will make it a bit more animated. Get most of the thinners off the brush and most of the colour off it. And it's fitting a little bit with the lumps. Get out. Nobody asked you. With the grey of the background, but actually it's also got I've gone over the sofa there. Again, not the end of the world. Wake up. Okay, and I'm going to put in some pinks in here as well. get a bit of the white and a bit of red. Just dash a few pinks in there. It'll sort of liven it up, make it dance around a little bit. Give it a bit of movement. Let's put some light on that sofa there. Maybe I should do a whole painting in this approach sometime. Just mixing lumps of paint and sticking them on any old house. Jumper. So yeah, so I've got these sorts of yellow in there as well, break up those sorts of shapes. You can see them now, can't you? It's weird how that happens. I really wasn't sure that was going to turn up all the way through.
But you always start again, doesn't it?
Well, no.
Well,
Plenty of failures, but usually because I've been trying something out. I suppose I was experimenting a little bit. Last little bit, so I've got this reflected light in the background. It's sort of here, and a little bit there, and a little bit in here. That actually wanders down and sort of blends in as it goes. That's too much. Soften that down as well. Little swooshes on his hair. I think you're there now. A little bit of dark in the eyes, and then I think we're pretty much done. Okay. And then last thing, I think I'll get a tiny bit of the light. Use the back end of the brush. And I'll try it over here just as just to make sure it behaves itself. Now we've got catch lights in the eyes. Oh, that's not enough. There's one. There's one. Ah, that's nice. Makes it ping a bit. I think that's definitely greying now. Oh, it's so tempted. It's so tempting to just sort of little softenings. No, that's him. What do you think? Break that edge a little bit. Cool. I'm going to sign it, and then. Oh, what with though? What with the black, I guess. Already, that makes up most of it. Has everyone disappeared, or?
No.
Did we go out of focus? Oh, is that the same?
No.
There we go. Right, I'm going to straighten this up so we can have a little look, and then and drink some wine.
think Graham probably wants to see it.
I know. He's going to have to wait, isn't he?
Reading.
What are you doing? There we go. So it has been seeing it on the screen, I suppose. I'll zoom out a bit here. Again, the hands, rather exaggerated, but that's sort of part of that. It's that tangle of fingers is sort of part of Graham's personality and how he sits. And one last thing I suppose we could do is, shall we go to the to Mr. Smug?
Yes.
There we are. So we can have a proper zoom in on the individual marks. So you can see why I was a bit sort of the details were smaller than the brush marks I was comfortable making, so it took a while for that to work out. There you go. Yeah, we'll go back to the main scene. Do you want to come have a look, Graham?
I do.
Okay,
wow.
look.
That's, yeah. That's amazing.
Can you see yourself? Can you see your...
Yeah, it's definitely got the introspection side. It's amazing.
It's about economy really with this, is that it's... There's so little you can do to do these, you know, sort of details. They've just got to hint at them. But yeah, I think that worked out quite well. Definitely could have been worse.
It's really got the pose and poise that I sit in, which
Well,
is
that's you,
almost
isn't
like the kind of
That's down to you being natural. But yeah, we'll pop that in a frame tomorrow, and that will be on show.
on in the shop. Amazing.
There's a camera behind you, so we can all wave goodbye. I'm afraid. Thank you very much for joining us again. Thank you to Graham for sitting. If you want to see the picture, it'll be in Bean Shop in Sherborne.
Tomorrow afternoon, isn't it?
Yeah, where you can also sort of empty all of the change out of your purse and see if you've got enough to buy a chocolate tiffin or something, which are delicious. So yeah, join us next week. What should we do next week? I haven't even thought it through. I'm never prepared. Maybe I'll get Matt in if he's available, otherwise in a couple of weeks. But we're going to start getting musicians in, more portraits, more entertainment and musicians and bits and pieces and people to chat to, and make it a bit more social. So